Okay. All right. We'll let other people come in as they join, but I think it's a good time to begin. So thank you to everybody that's right now logged into the Zoom. We are very excited to be doing this. This is the first webinar hosted by the Vedic Store, and we're really excited that we have the type of interest that you all have shown. The idea behind the Vedic Store is to promote Ayurveda and do the best that we can to get the message out there about what Ayurveda is all about. I'm really excited to be joined today by Vaidya Shweta, who is a full-time member of the Vedic Store and a wealth of knowledge. We thought that for the first webinar, it'll be good to begin with just an overview of what Ayurveda is. I'm sure a lot of you know about it, but maybe some of you don't. Will find some of the things interesting in what Vaidya Shweta is about to share. I'll end off the Zoom by just telling you about the mission of Vedic Store and what we're trying to do, and we're really excited for you to be part of this. I have everyone muted because of the number of participants. I didn't want much noise during the presentation, but we have a chat available in Zoom, so please feel free to ask any questions or something interesting that you find, and we'll try to use a few minutes in the end to do a Q&A if possible, where Vedashweta can answer some of your questions. Just a brief introduction to Vedashweta. So she has a bachelor's in Ayurvedic medicine and surgery from India. She's a certified scholar of National Academy of Ayurveda at Ayush. She's a US Ayurveda board certified from NCCBAM for traditional Ayurvedic medicine, and she's been working in Ayurveda for the past 10 years in various Ayurveda hospitals with the leading Vaidyas in India. We're lucky to have her in New Jersey. We're lucky that she connected with the Vedic Store, and we are blessed to have Vaidya Shweta and other Vaidyas like Vaidya Sunana who are part of the Vedic Store who work full time with us to promote Ayurveda and bring our message to the people. If you're in New Jersey, please do stop by the Vedic Store. If not, you can always give us a call and pick their brains about everything they know. So with that, I'd like to hand over the presentation to Vaidya Shweta. Please take over, and I'll take over towards the end.
Um, Thank you so much, Karan sir, for giving me this platform and the opportunity to share about the history of Ayurveda with all of you. And to begin this, we will invoke the presence of Lord Dhanvantari, who is the divine physician and the father of Ayurveda. So I request all of you to please close your eyes and let's pray together. Om Namami Dhanvantarim Adidevam Surasurairvandita Padapadmam Loke Jararuk Bhayamrityunasham Dataramisham Vididhaushadhinam Dhanvantari Ramanatho Sarvalokaikapujitaha Ayurveda Pravaktaram Vande Piyushadayakam Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkhabhat Bhave Om Shanti 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 Om Gurubhyo Namaha. So, let us all go on this journey about the brief history of Ayurveda. Um, Ayurveda, as the term suggests, Ayuhu Veda, Ayusho Veda iti Ayurveda. So the term Ayush means a lot of things. In Sanskrit, one term can have multiple meanings. So one of the meanings is life, something for longevity, or something about health. So a study or the science or knowledge about life, about the health, and about longevity is considered to be Ayurveda. It is a very old science, and the documented evidence dates back to at least 5,000 years back, around the Vedic Kala of the ancient India. It is one of the oldest holistic healing systems. And so any language that develops first develops with simple words, And then it evolves into complex sentences, and then there are documented and codification of all the knowledge that evolves over the period of time. And when we say that Ayurveda is 5,000 years old, that is the documented evidence. So it is even older than that, because initially the knowledge was passed on from generations to generations orally. So there were oral transmission of the knowledge of the wisdom, and then that entire wisdom was codified into scriptures, and these scriptures contain poetic shlokas. So, why the ancestors would have chosen the form of poetic shlokas could be that it is also recently found with the modern advancement of the medicine that anything that comes from the audio medium, the body can remember better. And then comes the audio medium, the visual medium. So when it was passed on from generations to generations orally, one of the reason could be that people remembered it better, and there would be a lesser chances of any errors when you're passing on the knowledge. And then the palm leaves and the written documentation of all the oral traditions developed, and then they were codified into scriptures. Now, the first four sacred scriptures, not only in terms of the Indian subcontinent, but we can say it in terms of world, were the Vedas. They are the oldest documented text available, and they have the knowledge in terms of the hymns, prayers, rituals, and there is a profound wisdom that has mainly shaped the intellectual and the cultural fabric of India. Now, what are those four Vedas? So, the oldest Veda that came was the Rig Veda. It is the Veda of the hymn. So, all these poetic shlokas were documented in the Rig Veda. Now, then came the Samaveda, which is the Veda of melodies and chants. So, the information that was present in Rig Veda was worked further upon, and a proper how to pronounce them, how to sing them, because sound is very important with Indian tradition. The sound vibration can have different effects on your body. So it was more worked upon, and the Samaveda is called as the Veda of the melodies and chants. Then comes the Yajur Veda, which has more ritualistic information. And then comes the Atharva Veda, that is the Veda of the knowledge. There is Ayurveda, and there is a lot of philosophy in that. And that is why Ayurveda is considered as the Upaveda, that is the subsect of the Atharva Veda. Now, the information about Ayurveda, about the health, was quite scattered in all Vedas. So, the Rig Veda had mentioned about 67 medicinal plants and how they help us. Then there was mentioning about the plant references in Atharva Veda. There are 293 shlokas explaining that. And then there are 81 healing herbs in the Yajurveda. So every Veda had scattered references of Ayurveda in them. And then came the two schools of thoughts, which took that knowledge and then they streamlined it and gave us specific Ayurveda scriptures. So that's how knowledge develops. There is initially scattered reference, and then there are scholars who work more upon it, and then they concise it, bring everything together, and then different fields develop over time. So the two school of thoughts in Ayurveda are the Dhanvantari Sampradaya and the Atreya Sampradaya. So one of them is the Lord Dhanvantari. He is the divine physician of Ayurveda. And the sacred origin falls back in the Vedic Kala, thousands of years back. And there was a big cosmic event that happened, which is called the Samudra Manthana, the churning of the cosmic ocean. And he appeared holding the vessel of Amrita Kalasha, the immortal nectar. And he's also considered to be the incarnation of Lord Vishnu and the founder of Ayurvedic science. There are multiple references about this event in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Mahabharata, and Vishnu Purana. So that event that event went on for 1,000 years. So the Asuras and the Devas, that is the you can say as how the energy is generated in the battery with the positive and the negative node. So in order to generate something, you need both the positive and the negative forces. Only one force will not be able to generate something new. So that kind of understanding comes with that event, that both the asuras and the rakshasas, the demons and the devas, they both work together in churning the ocean. And the first thing that, and there were 14 divine gifts that emerged out of the ocean. And the first one being the halahala, that is the deadly cosmic poison. And many other gifts gradually emerged. And then at the end came the Lord Dhanvantari, who is the Lord of Ayurveda, with the Amrita Kalasha. And after that came Lakshmi. Now, you would be amazed to know that most of us celebrate Diwali and most of us celebrate Dhanteras, and we do not understand that is linked to this. The Dhanvantari, Trayodashi over the period of years became Dhanteras when we started associating it with wealth. But what they were trying to tell us was actually the health is wealth. So we also have the tradition of buying new vessels on that day, and that comes from this event where the Lord Dhanvantari came with the Amrita Kalasha. There are multiple theories how we understand this event in our day-to-day life. One being that whenever you take up any new task, the first thing that comes out is the poison. That is, you have to declutter. Let's say I'm redecorating my home. The first thing I need to do is declutter. And likewise, when you're working upon your health, when you start any Ayurveda therapy or like Ayurveda herbs, you start taking them, you might notice that sometimes the symptoms aggravate initially and gradually they get down. So this is something because Ayurveda works from the root cause. What first you might notice is the halahala, that is the deadly poison, that is the ama coming out of your body. And then when you're consistent, when you keep taking everything consistently, keep following the instructions consistently, you start getting all the divine gifts of health. Your ailments start going down and you receive more benefits of health. And then at the end, you get the blessing from Lord Dhanvantari with the Amrita Kalasha of the health. And then when you get the profound health, wealth follows. And that's when you're blessed with Lakshmi, with the wealth. So health is wealth is what the understanding from this event, we can understand from this event. Now, we'll get more technical about it, that how Ayurveda flourished, and there is a different timeline that goes through. So now we are in the ancient India, in the Vedic Kala, where the arts, academics, crafts, textiles, everything boomed, and it was a center of learning. You would have all heard about the University of Nalanda, which had so many scholars and people from all over the globe were coming there to learn and to expand their knowledge. So during this time, whatever the references were scattered in the Vedas was more streamlined by few of the main scholars. So in the beginning of the seminar, I did mention that there were two school of thoughts, the Dhanvantari Sampradaya, that is the path of Lord Dhanvantari, who were the physicians. And then there is Atreya Sampradaya, and then they were the group of physicians. So then they streamlined the information, they did more work on it. There were a lot of research happening at that time. And then they came up with three main texts that we call it Brihat Trayas. So Brihat means the main, the bigger one, and the Trayi means three. So the three texts, the foundational texts of Ayurveda are the Charaka Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, and Ashtanga Hridaya. Now, Charaka Samhita consists of complete system of Ayurvedic medicine. It's more internal medicine focused work. Then Sushruta Samhita is a science of surgery. There, he's also considered as father of surgery, even by the modern medicine, father of plastic surgery. He has given the world the very famous surgery of rhinoplasty, what we popularly call it as the nose job. And that technique, which was used 5,000 years back, is still valid and is still being practiced by the surgeons. Then comes the Ashtanga Hridaya. So then later, in the later part of the century, came an Acharya called Vagbhata, who took the information from Charaka and Sushruta. So the Vedas were very difficult. The Sanskrit used in them is very difficult. So as and when the language evolves, they try to make it simpler so that everyone else could understand. So he concised the knowledge from Charaka and Sushruta and gave it in the form of Ashtanga Hridayam. So Hridayam means heart and it also means essence. So the essence of Charaka and the Sushruta Samhita in one book, it was more simpler to follow and it was more easier. And these three foundational texts are still being used by all the Ayurvedic Vedyas around the globe. You would be amazed to know that the so many fields and branches in medicine that exist today existed 5,000 years back. So there is a shloka that's called Kaya Bala Graha Urdhvanga Shalya Damshtra Jara Vrishan. So these are the 8 branches of medicine that were documented in those scriptures 5,000 years back. It means that these 8 fields were completely prevalent and thriving in the Vedic Kala. So the Kaya Chikitsa closely relates to internal medicine. Bala Chikitsa, so Bala means a child. So Kaumara Bhritya is the pediatrics. Then the Graha Chikitsa is for the psychiatry, mental health. Urdhvanga Chikitsa is the ENT. Shalya Chikitsa is a surgical branch. The famous Shara Sutra or the seton thread, what they call it now, for many anorectal diseases with the lowest rate of recurrence was again the contribution of Ayurveda. Then the Visha Chikitsa, that is the toxicology. There are still so many Vishavedyas practicing in India. There are people, when there is a snake bite or any other poisonous condition, they first go to an Ayurvedic Vedya, especially in Kerala. Then Jara Chikitsa, that is the field of geriatrics, and Vrisha Chikitsa is the reproductive medicine, the medicine for fertility. So all these 8 branches were prevalent in those times. They were thriving. And along with that, there was another separate branch for metallurgy, for the herbal Ayurvedic preparations and the metal preparations. So it was full-fledged science. Then, till the period of 1750, Ayurveda was the predominant system of medicine. And then, before that, there was a major event that happened. Was many would have heard about it, that Nalanda University was burned down in one of the invasions, and they had so many books that it burned for 3 months. And we lost a lot of our scriptures there, unfortunately, and many people gave their lives in preserving few of the scriptures, and that is what we have now. And we are just trying to keep that and keep the tradition alive. So just remembering those great pioneers who preserved the knowledge. But till 1750, it was still the predominant system of medicine in India. Then came the colonial suppression, and there were like a complete systematic suppression of the system of Ayurveda. They supported more Western system of medicine. The Calcutta Medical College was established, and then they started calling Ayurveda as unscientific and superstitious, and the fundings were removed. There was no support, platform for Ayurvedic Vedyas at that time. And still many of the Ayurvedic families preserved the knowledge, but then gradually, from being the predominant system of medicine in India, it kind of became an alternative system of medicine. Uh, then came the period of revival, of resistance, and there were family lineages called the Ashtavedyan families who preserved the knowledge of Ayurveda, and there were other various practitioners all across India who preserved that knowledge and who continued doing it, even if it meant they were not having a lot of funding, or they were not flourishing as another system of medicine was flourishing. There were great reform leaders like Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, who defended these traditions and got it back. So after India got the independence in 1947, the revival movement came, and Ayurveda was again established as the national medical system. At that time, the MBBS course, which is equivalent to the MD in India, was already flourishing, and there were many colleges. So the government came up with another course, another module called BAMS, that is the Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery. And presently, we also have post graduations and PhDs in Ayurveda, and then a lot of research happening. So it is now again getting its foothold in the global medical field. Um, um, One point I would just like to bring across, that the Bachelor of this Ayurveda medicine program is a 10,000 plus hours program, which goes on for 5.5 years with 1 years of very rigorous internship. And that internship again is additional 2,000 years. So we put in a lot of work, and 13,000, 14,000 hours of work and dedication goes in becoming an Ayurvedic Vedya. And in Vedic Store, we have only Ayurvedic Vedyas, me, then there is Vedya Sunena, and then there is Vedya Preeti. We all are Ayurvedic Vedyas. Then coming to the early 1900s, There is Pandit Madan Mohan the Malviya, who supported Ayurveda and gave the platform, and he established the Banaras Hindu Ayurveda University, which has a very advanced surgical wing and Ayurveda wing, which is operational even now. So the Ayurveda got the government recognition. There was an official status. There was a proper medical college for that. Then came the Central Council of Indian Medicine, which started regulating the education and the practice standards for the Ayurvedic practitioners. Then the Ministry of Ayush came later, and then came the CCRAS, which works more on the research that is to be conducted with Ayurveda. Now, so that was what happened in India. Now we move to the next part of the journey where Ayurveda goes global. From the 1960s, when yoga became more was very prevalent and became very common name in the West. And Ayurveda was promoted as a sister science of yoga because both come mostly from the same school of thought. That is, they both are the Upaveda from the Vedas. So when yoga was flourishing, at the same time, even the knowledge of Ayurveda came to the West, and the pioneers who did that was B.K. Iyengar for yoga, then Deepak Chopra, Dr. Vasant Lad, Dr. David Frawley, presently Dr. Robert Soboda were the Westerners who went to India, learned Ayurvedic science, and then came back to the West. And then came Dr. Vasant Lad, sir. Also, he was the original pioneer. He was the Ayurvedic Vaidya from India, and came a wave of Ayurvedic Vaidyas who came to the West to spread the knowledge. Now, what Ayurveda has to offer to the world. So, one thing is the beauty of Ayurveda is we do not consider everybody like everybody having the similar symptoms to get healed with the same set of herbs. Everyone is different. Everyone has different constitution. Everyone has different imbalances. So, one size fits all is not the motto of Ayurveda. Ayurveda follows the principle of swasthasya swasthya rakshanam and Atharasya Vikara Prashamnam. So to simplifying it, it will help someone who wants to get healthy, someone who already has health but wants to make it better, and then someone who is having health issues, then we help them correcting in their imbalances. And how we do it? So the first and foremost will be the detox. As I mentioned during the Samudra Mantana, the first thing that has to come out is the halahala. So we do the detox, get all the toxins out of the body, and that can be done either with Panchakarma. So there are the deep detoxification therapies mentioned in Ayurveda. There are five main karmas: the Vamana, Virechana, Rakta Mokshana, Basti, and Nasya. Then comes we do the assessment in terms of Nadi Pariksha, the art of pulse diagnosis, the science of pulse diagnosis that was given to the world by Ayurveda. Then we do the dosha assessment, the Prakriti, the constitutional analysis. Something that might work for me might not work for someone else. So that is very important. And then following the Dinacharya and Ritucharya, that is the Ahara and Vihara. Living your day-to-day life based on the cycle of the sun and the cycle of the seasons. Uh, we also came across in the previous slides that Ayurveda was deemed unscientific and it was deemed superstitious, but so many concepts of Ayurveda were taken up by the present systems and then repackaged and rebranded, and then it became something new. For example, the very famous turmeric latte. Now, the turmeric milk is not to be taken by everyone. It should go with your constitution, it should go with your condition, but then now everybody is taking it without knowing how it helps. Then the concept of circadian rhythm, which came from Ayurveda, which is the Dinacharya and the Ritucharya, like how you live your life based on the time of the day and the season. The chronobiology term, flashing very modern and very flashy terms and then calling it their own and not giving credit to the Ayurveda. The concept of Langana and Upavasa, fasting, came from Ayurveda, but then flash some number 16 is to 9, 12 is to 12, and then call it intermittent fasting. So there are so many concepts that are prevalent right now, which were actually originally was the gift of Ayurveda to the world. And it's high time that we know that Ayurveda has been very, very important in helping us lead a very healthy life. Uh, so we'll just go through the glance what we heard so far. So there was a pre-1715 era, that is the Vedic Kala until the 1750s, where Ayurveda was the dominant medical system. Then came the colonial suppression, where it favored the Western medicine, and the Ayurveda did not get the foothold. It became the alternative system of medicine. Then the national revivist fighting, and we were fighting for the legitimacy. We were fighting to revive it back and get its due. And then after the independence from 1947 to 70s, there were institutions and more streamlining Ayurveda with the other system of medicine. The Department of Ayush is what is called Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, and Homeopathy. So the other four system of medicine that came from India, and then the homeopathy, all get the support from the government. Then the 1980s, when there was a global spread of Ayurveda through yoga and wellness movements. And from 2000s to present, we have so many big pharmacies like Kotakal, Patanjali. Then there is Dabur and Himalaya and other brands who are making it global for everyone. And now there are exciting times ahead, and Vedic Store is doing its great contribution. And now I would request Karan sir to take over and uh, let you know more about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta. I gave you a very simple ask, which is to take 5,000-year history and 6 years of knowledge and condense it into 20 minutes. I think you did an excellent job.
Thank you.
It's amazing how vast Ayurveda is, and every time I listen to a different Veda, I leave learning something new, and I hope that's true of some of the people that joined this webinar. This is really nice. Would love to hear from you guys, and let us know if this was helpful, if we can improve in any way. To wrap it up, I just want to share about the future of Ayurveda because this is something as the thinker at the Vedic store, I think about a lot, which is, where's Ayurveda headed? And, we're addressing it from a global perspective. How do we keep what is the essence of Ayurveda, but also be respectful of where we are with the regulations and, rules that are set forth to make sure that we do our best to move forward in a responsible way. So, over the past 15 years, we have thought about how do we promote the right type of products, which companies do you introduce. Right now the Vedic store carries about 15 different brands of Ayurvedic products. We try to bring in knowledgeable Vadyas like Vadya Shweta, so we can impart true knowledge about Ayurveda as learned by people from these reputed universities in India. As far as the future of Ayurveda, I mean, we consider to be very bright. I always find it interesting that there is always a comparison between ancient medicine and modern medicine. But I think it's a great way to validate, and we're seeing a lot of the sciences today start to validate some of the concepts that we knew that existed in Ayurveda, but perhaps they got lost, as Vedashweta said that a lot of the history was lost and deleted. As wars happen and as colonialization happens, but it's good to validate those, and modern thinkers and people that are the new generation like us, we can start believing in these concepts again. So we're excited about where Ayurveda is headed, and people like you that support us, we really appreciate that. So to round it off, Shweta, we'll just show the last slide, and then we can move on to Q&A if anyone has questions. So I kind of touched upon what the Vedic Store's mission is. When we first started the Vedic Store, it was never our idea to be a pharmacy where we sell products. It was more about introducing the concept of Ayurveda because I think that's what's most powerful about Ayurveda. And like I said, if you're in New Jersey and you come to the store, you'll see that, our push is always to help you understand what Ayurveda can do for you, and we actually try to promote, let's talk about products and buying things later. Let's first figure out how knowledge can be of use and power to you. So that's really our mission, and we'll keep working at it, and having feedback and advice from you guys will really help us on that journey. So with that, I'd like to move on, and Shweta, we can show the last slide. So in case you're not in New Jersey, this is our phone number, this is our email. We do offer consultations and just conversations over phone. So please reach out to us. And if you'd like to talk to Vedya Shweta or Vedya Preeti or Vedya Sunana, who are the other Vedyas at the store, we're more than happy to have a discussion with you and help out in whichever way we can in the Ayurveda aspect. I will unmute everybody now. I'm sure some people are on their phone and they're not able to type. So, we just have, just a few more minutes. So in case there was something that you'd like to ask us or anything you want to say, now's your time. And then if not, then we'll start wrapping it up. So, Monica, you were asking what is being done to promote growing of Ayurvedic herbs in the USA. Some of our partners, some companies like Banyan Botanicals, there's Mountain Herbs, they are doing a lot of effort in actually seeing how they can set up farms in the US. Um, we've been in touch with them. There's very interesting studies that they've done where they've taken an herb from India and then studied its actives and then try to grow it in the US soil and then see what there were differences because the actives in these herbs are really important. So they're doing a lot of research into actually seeing what the elevation matters, the soil quality matters, the weather matters, and they're actually putting a lot of effort into seeing what are the locations in parts of the US where they could grow which type of herbs. This is something relatively new. I would say it's only been for the past 8 to 10 years that I'm aware of. But there is a lot of studies being done right now. Which herbs can grow in the U.S., which are the optimal herbs to grow here. And there's an aspect of energies in Ayurveda where some of the companies have actually grown herbs in specific locations and then moved them over because they noticed that the quality of that herb had a different outcome. So to your question, there's a lot that is being done. New Jersey is a state that I know. There's people have set up Ayurvedic farms in New Jersey, and they're trying to grow different type of herbs here, which are viable. So hopefully in the future, we have more accessibility to the herbs right that are grown right here, and we hope to be part of that. So, Anant, you asked a question. We won't take any consultation and medical related questions right now. I think that's out of the side of the scope of what we're trying to do here. But please reach out to us at the phone number or email, and we'll be happy to have a chat with you. Anything else anybody has? Otherwise, we can start wrapping it up. Well, once again, thank you very much. It's great to see everybody that joined. I truly hope that this was of help to you. So we're planning on doing these more frequently. When we were discussing what we should present on, I mean, there's 100 topics. We'll try to keep it as general as possible. We were discussing of giving a better understanding of doshas and how a dosha analysis and how an understanding of your doshas would help you empower you to be more in control of your health. So that might be a topic that we do in the future. If there's topics that you're very interested in, we have a wealth of knowledge. So please share that with us, email us, call us, and we'll add them as part of our future webinars. We'll continue sharing them over email. Please do sign up. We'd like to see good attendance. That gives us encouragement to continue doing this because we feel like we're bringing value to everybody. So with that, Shweta, if nothing else, we'll wrap up. I'm just unmuting you, Shweta.
Yes, so yes, it is exciting. We'll be coming up with many more webinars in future. And as Karan sir said, if you want to listen to any particular topic, please send your recommendations over email or let us know when you stop by the store and we'll work on it. And I hope you had an informative session so far. And any suggestions or anything more you would like to know, please send us an email.
Sandeep, you're asking if we can share the presentation. We plan on posting this whole thing up on YouTube, and we'll be sharing the link with all of you. And you can share that with anybody that you'd like to share it with as well. All right, with that, we will say goodbyes. Thank you very much. We're glad to have you be part of the Vedic Store, and we appreciate you taking time out on your Saturday. Have a great weekend, and talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Bye bye.